To our national reminder. Now, when a mysterious Turkish national associated with Deputy President William Ruto was thrown out of the country a few weeks ago, the incident revived Kenyan memories of a similar spectacle some 16 years ago, if only more dramatic. Now, during the reign of President Mwai Kibaki, two Armenian brothers, biological brothers we are told, jetted into the country posing as investors. They would soon receive privileged treatment and engage in what could be considered high-level security breaches in the course of the 6 months they operated in the country. Like Harun Aydin, that's the Turkish national, the Artur brothers were VIP operatives with connections in the highest circles of government and state. Now, our very own Victoria Rubadiri reminds us of the Artur brothers on this week's National Reminder, lest we forget.
They landed in Kenya in December 2005. The exact dates of arrival only known by their mysterious hosts. Their agenda not clear, though the two were variously introduced as prospective investors who came into Kenya allegedly at the invitation of one Raju Sangani, a shadowy Kenyan businessman who was the executive chairman of Real Management Services Limited. Their names were Artur Sargassian and Artur Margarian. We soon came to know them as the Artur brothers. The two Armenians were issued with work permits in a process that was expedited and preferentially for them. According to the report on the investigation into the conduct of the Artur brothers, this was only made possible by their apparently powerful connections in government. Indeed, the National Security Intelligence Service, or NSIS, cleared their forms within a day without cross-checking their background with Interpol. By mid-February, they started engaging in suspicious activities. For instance, they installed CCTV cameras at the Grand Regency Hotel where they were staying. It was later revealed to the NSIS that the brothers were con men in the United Arab Emirates and were consequently deported before making their way to Kenya. They also used Russian aliases and passports. This information, however, was not enough for authorities to take action. And the plot thickened when the brothers were secretly allocated senior titles in the police force, holding the positions of deputy commissioners of police, and their associate, Mr. Shifana, bearing the title Chief Inspector of Police. Two of their bodyguards also received titles of police corporals. Well, from missing police firearms to Kenyan passport books with their aliases found at the Artur brothers' residence in Runda, and high-level security passes to access VIP zones at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, questions arose on just who was granting such privileges to the Armenian nationals that landed in the country a few months ago. However, an incident would thrust the Artur brothers into the public eye. Now, on the 2nd of March 2006, a night raid on Standard Group offices in I&M Towers by Kenyan security agents raised suspicions. Witnesses said men of Caucasian origin were present and happened to fit the descriptions of the Artur brothers. The contingent of officers vandalized equipment and paralyzed the operations at KTN and also confiscated some equipment. In a simultaneous raid that same night at Standard Group's Likoni Road printing press, newspapers just hot off the press were packed into a Standard Group Limited vehicle and carted off. To date, they have never been recovered. New incriminating information would later emerge from the former driver of businessman Raju Sangani, who is said to have originally invited the Artur brothers to Kenya. The driver, Richard Nerima, presented the evidence before a parliamentary committee, saying he drove the Artur brothers to the scene of the Standard Group raid on the material day. The government, through the then Internal Security Minister John Michuki, denied it was a raid, but rather a government operation. Michuki further adding that all involved were Kenyan security agents.
When you rattle a snake. You must be prepared to be bitten.
ODM leader Raila Odinga then offered his opinion on the Artur brothers.
Mercenaries are mercenaries. They are soldiers on hire.
Well, the brothers would quickly defend themselves against the allegations, calling a press conference at the JKIA government VIP lounge. They claimed to have failed business dealings with Odinga. The brothers added that they met with both Kalonzo Musyoka and Odinga, who sought $41.6 million to support the No referendum campaign as a way to bring down the Kibaki government. On April 26, 2006, evidence from the NSIS presented to the National Security Advisory Council would poke holes into the Artur brothers' story. The NSIS revealed the brothers had characteristics consistent with people involved in illegal drug trafficking and had been cited in numerous security breaches. Deportation of the duo from Kenya was recommended. However, the NSAC, headed by Ambassador Francis Mudaura, declined to act on the NSIS recommendations. The brothers would continue with their security breaches. That is until a fracas at JKIA on the 8th of June 2006, when the Artur brothers and their associates landed in the country from a foreign trip and refused to allow their bags to be checked by customs officers. They then allegedly drew their guns in the ensuing confrontation to force their way through. However, the following day, at 5 a.m., the two brothers were arrested at their home in Runda Estate, and firearms found in their possession. Later on that same day, the Armenian duo and two other individuals were deported to Dubai. It still remains a mystery how the two were able to have such free reign. The report on the investigation into the conduct of the Artur brothers, alluding to highly placed people in government, business, and political circles who protected them. However, specific linkages require more investigation 16 years on. That's your national reminder of the week, lest you forget.